Money soldier, I thought I told you. Only rocking with the agent and the broker, yeah. Move over, we getting bolder. Making moves like the agent and the broker, yeah. Generational wealth, they bout that. Yeah, we took some L's, but we bounced back. Financial literacy, got that. Closing up the wealth gap, yeah, I'm black. Welcome to the Agent and Broker Podcast, hosted by Julian and James. And you know they bringing nothing but that black boss talk, man. Cause there's no currency stronger than the black dollar. And it's time we let the world know. But first we gotta grow though, and that's for sure.
It's the agent and the broker. Yeah, I like that part. That's
Man,
catchy.
I just be vibing to it. Yep.
That's catchy. What's going on? What's going on, family? How y'all doing?
Hope everybody doing good. It's another great episode.
Another week at it. Episode 7, man. Can you believe it?
Holy 7.
We rapid fire on y'all, man. Like it's amazing. And welcome to another episode of the Agent and Broker Podcast. I am your co-host, Julian, the agent, license W626069.
And my name is James, license number W282336 down here in Florida.
Already, all day, every day. And guys, we're going to really get into some good stuff today. I'm excited. It's another great episode. It's kind of like an interview, but it's with us. And really, James, I'm going to be asking James and you're kind of going in details and depth on how, to grow and build a 6-figure life insurance agency and how he did it in less than a year, guys. It's amazing. The numbers were crazy. I was a witness, a part of it. And, I'm excited about this episode and everything. But, before we even go into all of that, of course, we want to talk about last week, what happened, some things that, did happen, and give you guys a recap of what's coming up and then, give you guys a outlook on what's coming up in next week or in a couple of weeks as well. So last week, let's see, what we did 2 interviews last week. Yep. We did have a little bit of technical difficulties last week, but we did figure those out. We got those situated, so we are back live in action. We had a health insurance professional on, and we also went live on Monday as well. And then I also wanted to talk a little bit about last week where I was at myself, promoting, the podcast, the brand, and letting people know about it. So I went to Atlanta and I got to experience what is called a NFT meetup. So guys, if you haven't heard of NFTs, anything in the digital currency, the digital world, cryptocurrency, NFTs, things in that nature, I recommend you start looking into that because it's going to be huge. It's going to be bigger than the tech industry. So that's going to be something big. And then we will also have, some guests coming on in the near future to come and teach you guys about it. So we want to get people who have, hands-on experience and creators in that field to come in and talk to you and educate you about this. Mm-hmm. And we want to start getting it at the grassroots level about NFTs and stuff.
100%, man. It's something that is spoken of every day. It's always a conversation. Scrolling down your Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, there's always something about NFTs,
Right.
So the best thing you can do is to get in early and educate yourself. So Julian and I will definitely be having conversation on how we're going to add more value to this podcast by, being a resource to you who's listening or who's watching, so the future looks pretty exciting, man.
It does. I'm excited about that. And so the meetup that I was at, guys, is called the Kangaroo Heroes NFT project. It's a financial project, which is crazy. We're in the financial industry. So the creator of it is actually in the financial industry as well. He's known as Prince Donnell on Instagram. You guys probably seen him with his kangaroo. So he started a tax brand, and from there he did life insurance and just financial services in general. And he franchised it out, and he created a mascot, which was genius because now we're in a land of NFTs, and this mascot is wild. Like, you have a lot of utility about it. People are like, why would I purchase, a piece of digital art? It doesn't make sense or anything. But that digital art comes with exclusive access to certain things. Like, we have weekly meetings with people who are 6 to 7 figure traders and people who make that type of income. You have access to them in these meetups as well. So there's a meetup in every city. Every big city around the country is the goal to have a meetup this year. So far it's been Houston and Atlanta, and soon it'll be Miami. But the only way you can get into that meetup is by having that kangaroo hero in your wallet. So it's something to look out for, guys. I'm excited to bring on certain people to come speak about that and speak to our community. So we just wanted to give y'all a recap of last week. And then kind of going into this week, we do have another guest, which is a financial planner and financial advisor. Her name is Crystal. She's amazing. She's in the recession proof with myself. So, she's connected a lot of big time people. She's helps a lot of big time people with their finances and their planning. So I'm excited to have her on Thursday as well. And a lot of different other guests, guys. Like, it's gonna be crazy. I'm just like, dang, it's almost like a full-time gig over here.
Right?
You know what I'm saying?
Like, Julian he be like, hey man, there's another one just hit me up, say they want to be part of the podcast. Yeah. Hey, I just reached out to that person. They're gonna be part of them. Like, oh man. So we literally out there, man, bringing everything for you and build content so you can make some educated decision about your finances, so
exactly. We want to get you guys the best of the best. And the access and education side of things, so you can be listening to it, whether you're driving to work or working out, whatever you want to do, man. We want to bring value to you. So on today's episode, guys, how to build a 6-figure agency with Mr. James Denazir, the broker. And of course, I'm the agent. I'm not a broker or anything, but kind of like a broker at the same time, because we have the options and things. But James is the real broker here. He's the real deal. This guy ran a crazy run to make 6 figures in less than a year, y'all. And we're gonna figure out how he did it. We're gonna unravel all of that stuff, and we're gonna hear exactly what James has to tell you, and what how you can turn around and possibly do the same thing yourself. So I'm excited. What about you, James?
Man, I'm pretty excited as well. And just because you're gonna be the one asking me all those questions, I'm just a little bit nervous, about the how the question will be asked. But we're gonna have a lot of fun, man. I hope you guys are ready.
Most def, man. I'm not gonna take it too hard on you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we ain't sweating all of that. So first, man, let's dig into it. James Denazir, before the life insurance, James, or the insurance guy, before you got into this industry, who are you before that? And because we want to unravel it all, because you weren't always this, this person who you are now. Life is far back. Let's go back, man. And I know your background, so don't try to make it all sugarcoat for everybody now.
Well, I mean, if we have to take it back, before I get into insurance, I can't believe you just before I get into insurance, for everybody who's listening, I'm gonna tell you what I was doing, but let me take it a little bit back. I came from Haiti, okay, and you guys already know my story, and some of you probably already know my story. So moving here, the hardest thing I had to do was learning English. So that's why you probably hear a little accent, right? But anyway, middle school, high school. So during high school, I was actually, I used to work in a restaurant. So that's where I did 11 years of my career before I get into insurance. So I was actually a cook. At first I started as a patio boy. I was just wiping tables. doing it all, washing dishes, you name it, I've done it, man. And it's I'm just having some bad like memories right now. But the place was
Speak on them.
hot, bro. It was a barbecue place. I used to smoke ribs, baby back ribs, spare ribs, chicken, pulled pork, brisket, you name it. I cook them and I serve them. And it wasn't too pleasant. I think the best thing that happened in this place was me meeting my wife, actually, because that's where me and my wife we met. So, but anyway, that's where I used to be. I used to work in a restaurant for 11 years before I get into the insurance industry. So, yeah, man, here we go.
Is that all you got?
That's all I got. That's all
You didn't do nothing else on the side of that, man. You just
man.
did anything else? Come on, you gotta let the world know.
Let the world know. Okay,
who you were.
You got me. You got me.
Come on, man. Come on.
All right. I couldn't stick with just a job. Okay, I had to do my side hustle. All right, you got me. You got me. So here's what I did. Right. I actually had a moving company while I had a full-time job.
Okay.
So I bought a box truck and I was going storage hunting on my day off. So I received email. This company gonna be in this storage unit. So we just go storage to storage, and I'll buy a storage unit and resell them online. It was profitable. That was my side gig. I was also a barber, so I used to cut hair. Yep. I used to get in my car, go to my friend's house, and give him a haircut. Sometimes they'll come to me, and I make my little side money there. What else? You want me to really go down the list, man? Because I have a lot.
Oh yeah. Let them know what you was doing, man. Because honestly, it's a lot of people that do a lot of things, so they don't know what they want to do, but they do a lot of different things.
Okay, this one will cause will caught you by surprise. I don't think you know that. I actually had my cab license to start driving cabs.
Yeah, I didn't know that. See?
Yeah, you didn't know that, right? I try a lot of things. What else? Oh my god, I'm having a brain fart here. But if I remember more,
need me to remind you.
Yeah, you remind me just a little bit, and I'll go down on there. Go ahead.
Sniper.
Oh, come on, man! You can't do that. You can't do me like that, man.
You gotta know. They gotta know.
Oh my god. Okay,
they
guys.
gotta know.
They gotta know, right?
Yeah, they gotta know.
All right. Make sure you don't share this, okay?
You gotta know, James.
Look, if you look at my page,
the growth. It's the growth, man.
It's the growth, right? You look at my page, you look at the interview I've done, you look at my style with my family, you would never thought I was a rapper. Ooh. I used to rap. they used to call me Sniper. Oh man, are you gonna do me like that, Julian? Man, you gonna? But yeah, I used to rap. But that's just to show you, man. If you at that place and you feel like you want to try everything, I promise you, man, eventually one thing would stick. One thing would work for you. So I used to oh, look at this. Now you got people laughing at me. You got Natalie just laughing at me, man. Natalie, don't share this, okay? It's our little secret. Oh my God. But
this is good though, James. You know why? Because it's people out here that's trying everything. Sometimes they hoping that they find that one thing, and they're in their 20s, and you're speaking directly to them. Whether you tried pretty much everything. So you talking to rappers now, people who have been rappers or who are rappers, people who wanted to probably possibly drive cabs or get a box truck. There's people who want to do all types of different things, and hey, we speaking to you now, 6-figure earner on the life insurance side. So, it ain't nothing to really be, disappointed about. You know what I'm saying? Like,
it's not disappointing. You just opened the box in my head, man.
Yeah.
It's like, man, I'm remembering these things.
It's good.
But yeah, man, it's definitely been a journey, to be in the life insurance industry and to be where I am right now, So I remember my wife, oh my God, I felt so sorry for her, man. She had to deal with me. And I had all these things I was doing at one time, and she felt really overwhelmed. And I remember we actually sat down. You said, okay, you got to pick one. I said,
Mm,
but how? I can't. They all so good. And then we come to a
yeah.
conclusion. I'm like, okay, I'm not going to pick one. I'm going to pick two. And I pick insurance and real estate. And I never look back after that. So um let's just say it's been a really nice journey, man.
That's dope, man. So obviously, well, you just kind of covered what your wife said, and that's that balance, bringing that balance within and having somebody there to be like, hey, man, let's dial it back a little bit and let's pick one. So you being all over the place, you can tell, what was your mindset like back then? Was it like, I got to get it by any means necessary? And how did your mindset shift once you started getting older and into, those things you were passionate about?
Well, I mean, yeah, when I was quite younger, I'm like, nah, I got to get it. And my number one thing is, look, I have to figure a way to make more money. At that time, I was making like 30,000 a year, with overtime maybe 35,000. And
Mm-hmm.
it's like, no, I got to find a way to make 50. I got to find a way to make 100, because I always said to myself, by between the age of 40 to 45, I got to become a multimillionaire.
Mm-hmm.
And right now I'm 33. So I still got some time in front of me, but I don't want to, I'm not going to sleep.
Right.
So at one point, and I'm so happy I had that conversation, with my wife to actually stay in those two industries. It kind of convert. And as you were learning, as I was learning, I could never put a book down, bro. Like, you know, there is a reason. I always tell people there is a reason you go past a library, nobody's in there, but you go by a
Mm-hmm.
movie theater, everybody there is packed. Well, the library, people who stay at the library are the one who create the movie. The mask can go look. That's just an example. But I just find myself very obsessively reading any books that have to do with growth. I had to read it.
Mm.
And I mentioned that in the last episode, Bob Proctor, which he passed away a couple weeks ago, that was the first guy I lent to, just by trying to learn how to make money, And I was at work. He came up on one of the Google search, I believe I was doing. And ever since then, that's how I was introduced to the teaching of Napoleon Hill,
Mm-hmm.
Think and Grow Rich. And then from there, I read quite a few more books from Napoleon Hill, and I just couldn't stop reading. And even right now, I kind of slowed down right now the past few months, which I'm gonna get picked back up. But every time I see a book, I gotta pick it up, and I have to listen to Audible, because that's how I
Yeah.
actually stay sane.
Right. Right.
But yeah, man, that was that part.
Man, that's major. So you went from kind of like scatterbrain, I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to do that, because that's the mentality of a lot of people, especially when they're younger. They're trying to get it. It's just like, I need money, so I want to try this out, I want to try that out, I want to try that out, I want to try that out. And so your transition was, you got exposed to something different, which was reading different
Hmm.
books, a certain type of book. And and that kind of transitioned you into that mindset. So let's draw back again. At your day job, you were working as a chef.
Hmm.
So at how was that transition when you started reading and finding out that there was more to life? How did that affect you at work? How did that affect your work style? And how did you start viewing your job?
You want the real answer?
Of course. Of course. That's why we here.
Oh man, people started to hate my guts. I become a not so likable person, and I'm gonna tell you exactly why and why I believe that happened. As I was reading and finding out, discovering a lot of new things, after a couple months, automatically, I guess I become a little different, and I wasn't really smiling or laughing at the same jokes anymore.
Hmm.
And I remember quite a few people, James, what happened to you? What happened to James? What's going on with James? When that transition started happening, I felt totally out of place at my workplace.
Mm,
And that was the same moment. I remember this like it was yesterday, and you know the story. I remember going around my restaurant, and I just needed reason to push myself out. And I'm asking people who's been there for 20, 25, 30 years, how long you been there? Do you like it? Those are the two questions I ask people. It's a true story. And everybody that's been at the job for 20 years or more hated the place. And
mm-hmm.
here I am, I'm in my 11th year. So it's like, okay, you're looking at your future right now. Everybody hate the place. They hate the job. They hate their life. They have no time with their family, and it's just crazy. But I mean, that's the workplace, by the way. I'm not going down and bashing anyone that's actually somewhere hate a job, but they have to show up for it. All I'm saying is you have options. So when that actually happened, man, doing that transition, I started being a little bit more serious, more intentional about what I was doing. My
Mm-hmm.
conversation get a little bit more stern, more real, and I kind of like felt a little weird, and people felt weird around me as well because I guess it's the books I was reading. But yeah, man, it was kind of like a weird transition, you know. But yeah, that's where I'm gonna put this right there.
Okay.
Hmm.
No, that's deep though, man. And because a lot of people go through those same type of thoughts, in those same type of situations where they get exposed to something and they don't look at their job the same.
100%.
So being able to, find a way to overcome that, whoever listens to this, hopefully that helps them in a certain way for sure. And as you were you know, going through those times of transition, so at the job and you wanted to transition into the new career, how did that affect like your relationship with your wife? Like how did she feel about that? Because before she was like, okay, you need to focus on one thing. Now that you're about to transition into the insurance industry, how is that? How is the relationship? How did it impact your relationship?
Well, I mean, I would say, man, when it comes to that, I'm probably one of the lucky guys out there, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying that being very very mindful of what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
Um, my wife know she has a crazy man. Like I'm crazy, I'm nuts sometimes, right?
Yeah.
But she's always by my side. So that transition, I had nothing but support. Now I know she probably felt some type of uncertainty, some type of fear, because remember at that time I was married, I had a son, my daughter wasn't born yet, so I had full responsibility. So I'm
Right.
leaving a job where I was at for 11 years to go totally full heads on in a brand new industry. What I have no idea what I'm
Right.
gonna be doing. But throughout that journey, the transition, she was really really supportive. She believed in me, and I think that's one of the reasons I'm able to do a lot of things, because she actually truly believed in me, you
Mm.
know. So like I said, man, I'm one of the lucky ones. So she showed me nothing but support, very encouraging, and end up to be the best thing I ever did, leaving the job.
Dope, man. That's a major gem, guys. I hope you're paying attention. All of my guys out there, you have somebody in your corner like that, a wife. Like we got to do this thing together. We can't One can't do it without the other. You need that balance, and this is a perfect example of having balance within a relationship, and somebody there that can bring you that balance, and that's on your side at the same time. Yeah, they're probably not going to agree with everything you have going on or that you want to do, but they are also always there in your corner regardless if things go right or wrong. So that's a major gem, guys. Like, you gotta, if you find somebody, you gotta, and if they fit into what you want or what you want to do and things like that, man. Can't get no better
Mhm.
than that, you ask me.
Can't get no better than that, man. You got a partner that's real, that do the best they can to understand you, where you know when to put your ego down, or when you know when to stand your ground, and she understand that or he understand that. It's all about, just, conversation, man, and make sure you understand one another.
Dope. Dope, man. So I hope you guys are enjoying this so far. We kind of getting on the real side even before we even get into how James built the six-figure agency. So we about to transition into that really quick and kind of going into this new career, James. So before you were in life insurance, you were in health insurance, correct?
Correct.
All right. So tell us about that transition. Now you're in health insurance right away. Like, what was that? That transition, and then what was the money like compared to your previous job?
Okay. Well, a good question, by the way. So, I actually left my job, I believe, in January, February, March, around April, right?
What year?
And 2017.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm licensed August 2015. By April 2017, I was out.
So 2 years you were doing it on the side.
I was doing it aside. Yep. So when I left my job, you know what's funny, man? Let me tell you, for everybody who has faith, you probably don't know that part of the story, and I'm gonna tell you that part of the story right now. I remember it was 2016. I forgot. It's probably maybe around September. You know what I did? And I see I'm starting to get chills on my arm. I went on my calendar and I wrote my resignation date in my calendar, which was, I believe, April 17th. I believe which day, I forgot which day it was. And I just wrote it down. Let me tell you something, man. I did not have a job lineup for insurance. I didn't know what I was gonna do. I just put it down. Do you know, in the exact same day, I actually wrote my resignation letter. And as I was writing my resignation letter, I was done. The notification come in my calendar, say resignation date. And I totally forgot about it. So that same day, I actually wrote my resignation letter, and it was crazy. Now, if you're religious or I don't know, man, but I feel some type of way about that because I totally didn't plan that, that far out. But anyway, when I got to the health insurance industry, you say, how was the income? Well, the income from April to December, I was about $6,000 from $100,000. And that's coming from working a year for like $30,000.
Sheesh.
So the money was definitely like, whoa. And coming to the industry selling, health insurance, like I said, I didn't know what I was doing. The crazy thing is, the manager that was supposed to train me, he got let go that same week I got hired. So I didn't even get no training. So all I had was, hey, you need to do this, do this, do this, do that. I'm like, okay, cool. And I just went ahead, my head down, bro, and I just did whatever I had to do. And before you know it, month after month, I was the #1 producer. I'm like, well, I mean, this is like taking candy from a baby. Like, nobody's doing what I'm doing. It's like, but I really didn't know how sales work. All I know is I had a job to do and I was doing the job, meaning that I was giving people health insurance. But yeah, that was the transition, man. It was a good transition. And the money in the first year, like I said, I was already close to 6 figures, like from April to December that same year.
And how long did you do that?
I did that until
what year?
2019, I believe.
19.
Is it 2019 or 2018? I really don't remember. But anyway, I went a couple years on there before I switched fully to life insurance.
Yeah. And with that, at that company, were you were you independent agent? How did that work? How did they give you leads, or how was the setup?
Okay, with that company, no, it was captive. It was a captive Medicare company. So I was really giving health insurance to people who retire or disable. There wasn't really leads, not much lead. They actually give you locations though to set up. So we had contract with CVS or some storefront in the local community. We'll work local event, like similar to the event you and I we worked. they'll set that up for you, and you have to go and really expose the brand and sell the brand.
Yeah.
And of course, I mean, I don't know whoever's listening to this who knows about Medicare. Medicare is one of the highest regulated insurance by the government to protect the seniors. So let me tell you how hard that was. And I'm telling you it's hard. And when I was doing that, I see it was hard. If I'm setting up on a table right now and there is a senior passing by my table, legally I cannot talk to that senior. I cannot say, hey, I have benefits for you with Medicare. No, that's actually I can't do that because it's so highly regulated. But anyway, that's what I used to do. They didn't give you much leads. If you get a lead, it's probably like me. Probably maybe every 3 months you probably receive like 2 leads. But everything was you being out in the field, building relationships, work events. So that's all I used to do, man.
How it should be, honestly. That's that's what works, man. You ask me, but I guess everything generally works now. But okay, so health insurance, almost 6 figures in health insurance. So you're getting a little bit of more taste in life. You went from what $30,000 a year to almost 6 figures. So now when
The
you make
following year in health, though, I made 6 figures.
okay, yep.
The
So
following, yeah.
we got 6 figure income from $35,000 a year to 6 figure income, working overtime as a chef, a cook, and doing other things on the side. But once he started narrowing down and focusing in the one industry, his income pretty much almost tripled, guys. We're looking at from $30,000 to almost to 6 figures to 90,000 in what you said. How many months was that?
From April to December. What is that?
So April till December. That's a little bit
That's
over
8 months.
half of a year, 8 months.
That's 8 months.
And his income tripled in 8 months from just making a simple switch in industries. So guys, if you're out there, you feel like you're stuck on a job, you're stuck on something like where they're not paying you enough, you're working a immense amount of hours, you're tired, you just you don't have anything. There are options out there. There are skills out here, licenses that can make you 6 figures with the same amount of work ethic that you're putting into a $30,000 job. It's just about thinking outside the box and finding those opportunities, and they're here, guys. Like, you got the internet now, so there's really no true excuse to why you can't do certain things with these $100,000 and then $1,000 phones that people have.
Right.
So you can pretty much move however you want to move, and you can find what you want to find on the internet. So excuse me. We have James here who's gone from $30,000 to 6 figures in health insurance. But guys, this isn't even the most, like, we're gonna go even deeper. So James went from health insurance. Now let's talk about the next transition, James, and why did you make that transition to life insurance?
So making that transition, it was pretty unique. I remember as I was working, one of my colleagues started talking about life insurance. I'm like, okay, I'm just listening. I wasn't much into it. I know what it is. I wasn't really much into it. I'm like, okay, I'm listening, and I heard of the opportunity a company was providing. So I sat with a couple of people. I'm like, that makes sense. Sure, let's do it. So I just jump on life insurance. So now it was another transition that was about to happen because I have my job, and then I'm doing life insurance on the side now. I made so much money in life insurance. I said, shoot, my job is getting underway.
Okay, right. Hey guys, to make that clear, so James has what is called a 215 license in the state of Florida. It's a 215. So it has health and life on it. So you can sell health insurance and sell life insurance at the same time. And that's what he's talking about. He did that. So he was able to transition into another sector of the insurance industry, which is the life side. And he was doing that while he was still working his health insurance job.
Yep.
And as he goes further into that, you can kind of see the transition. And this is from at his health insurance job, it's just him. Now he gets into life insurance where he gets more into agency building, and that's where we're going to go into next. So James, how was that, that next, once you got into the life insurance, let's get into the ins and outs of that, man. Let's talk about that transition, how different it was from health insurance to life insurance, and what was different about it.
So health insurance, at least what I was exposed to, it was you selling insurance, and there is no sense of building an agency. So what does that mean? Yes, you make good money, and I know guys who make a lot of money on the health insurance industry. But what you realize is you're working for the company once again. Yeah, you're getting some great commission. However, what is it you're building? So yeah, you can always go ahead and make six figures. It's very simple, like especially with the resources, with the health insurance company, you can make six figures if you're willing to work. So as I'm transitioning to the life insurance part, it wasn't just about selling, but it was like, hey, I know you can sell, but can you actually build an agency? And then when I understand the concept behind an agency, I said, well, I'm up for the challenge. So what is building an agency? An agency, when you're building an agency, it's not about you anymore. It's not just about you making sales. Yes, you're making sales as well, but can you get more people to actually be successful and making sales as well? So when it comes to agency building, as you were helping people make money, well, you also make money. Your agency make money through a form called override. So let me give you an example. Say you just make, you make a sale. The sale gonna pay out, $3,000. Out of the $3,000, the agency builder get an average of 10%. Okay, so which mean, imagine you have 5, 10, 15, 20, 30, 50 people that's actually making sales, making transaction within your agency, and you're getting all those 10% or 20%. That's a lot of money. So when it comes to the transition to come into the life insurance, it was like, you know what, not only, yes, I can make a lot of money on my own pen writing policies, selling insurance, but I can also build an organization where I can experience, more income by helping people make money, and I make money. So to me, that was pretty cool. So shortly after, I quit my health insurance job.
Yeah.
And then I went full time in life insurance. So that was that part, man.
That's a major shift, man. And for you guys that don't know and understand, building a team and agency is not easy. Not if it was, everybody would be doing it, honestly, but it's not easy. You have to pretty much you're leading other people who possibly never even heard about life insurance before, and having to teach them, and not only just tell, but you having to teach and lead by example. You're having to show them a certain way. This is how I do things, and you have to teach it. You have to teach them sales skills. In the agency we were in, James was teaching sales skills. He was building us around him so we can, we can come and teach classes as well. And we would have different things. It was a big dynamic. And as we go into the next question, when it came to building, now you're talking agency building. Let's talk about that when it comes to bringing in your wife into the equation now, because in health she wasn't working with you, was she?
No.
Right. So how is that bringing your wife into the business now? Because now you're building an agency, you're building a business.
Yeah.
And it's not, you can write on your pen, as he said, but now he's transitioned full time from his other job into a full-time insurance builder, agency builder. So tell us about how that was when your wife transitioned over, and trying to get somebody who who wasn't working in that industry or anything like that. How was that? that process with her? Was it always smooth sailing? How did that go?
Well, no, not quite. It wasn't always smooth sailing. Um, so for my wife to really be part of the industry, which by the way, she's fully licensed in the state of Florida and a couple other states as well. Um,
Who?
Me bringing her in was probably the biggest change in my agency in my career. At first, she didn't want anything to do with it. Selling life insurance, and that she want nothing to do with it. So now when she understand the value of it after a little bit, by talking to other brokers, other agency builders, she said, huh, okay. And when she actually joined me, and like we run the business as a couple, man, my income went to the roof. Because it just makes sense. Like when you good by yourself, like by yourself you're fine and you're doing your thing. But when you have a partner, you have your wife or your girlfriend or your husband, whichever, that comes along and really share the same vision, share the same goal, it was just a game changer at that
Right.
point.
Right.
So she learned the game, she learned insurance, she learned uh um she's in the phone with the carriers all the time. She knows about
Yep,
product
yep,
better than I do. She know
yep,
about,
yep,
like,
yep.
she knows about, I'm telling you, almost everything,
God,
right?
we got to get Ruthie on here one day.
I'm telling you, we got to get Ruthie on here one day,
We
man,
have
for real.
to. He's not lying. So, when I got in, she was like the go-to. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
James is out hunting. He's either out recruiting his people for the team, or making money on the policies, or training somebody. So Ruthie was always like, she was the mother of the team.
Yeah.
Mama Goat is what we
Mama
called her.
Goat. Yep.
So everybody would go to her for everything. Like, hey, you need to put a policy in. Boom. If you need to get licensed, you're at her office. Every single thing on the process, you had to go through her.
Mm-hmm.
So like, when James says that she expanded his business, it's the truth. She's literally like that backbone.
Yep.
And he was able to operate at a high level because she got into the business. And it's funny that he said it wasn't always smooth sailing or anything like that. So you're talking about a woman coming, not working in this industry ever, and then transitioning into that. And like he said, she did not like she didn't want anything to do with life insurance. And imagine how hard that is in getting your wife or your significant other into an industry that they obviously didn't want to do.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you think? Who you think really like did that? That was true leadership skills, I think, in my opinion, from James, because it takes you have to be amazing for a woman to want to do something like that. You know what I'm saying? You have to do amazing things.
It was
So,
tough, man.
so when you talk about the six figures, and now you're building the agency, making six figures, how did your lifestyle change from back being a cook? Did the bills, did we go up? How did the lifestyle look you know outside of performance in that agency? Where was your lifestyle at? Now, were you able to put your kids in better situations, your families? Like, how did it change your life?
100%, 100%. There is that saying that says, and I'm not talking as if I'm like a millionaire yet, because I will be a multimillionaire, eventually billionaire. But there is that saying that says money cannot buy you happiness. Part of it, I think, is just full bogus, because it's all about how your perception of money is.
Get your
You know,
options.
it gives you a lot of options. So definitely, I felt more happy, coming from 30 to, six figures. And my life is better balanced. And I'm able not to, if I go to the store with my son, there is a toy there. It's $20, $30, $40, $60. If I want to, I can give him that, as long as he earned
Right.
it, you know. So money does give you more options, and it's definitely different, man. I'm able to buy a house. Like me, the house we live in right now, my wife, she doesn't like those type of neighborhoods when you have like a community. She don't really like them. Me, I love them. So when I was looking for a house, I looked for a house in the community. Why do I love them so much? I don't know. Maybe when I was in Haiti, I'm looking at, those scenes, when you see the kids are playing outside and they're in the little bikes, and and it's very
Mm-hmm.
multicultural. I like that. So our neighborhood where we stay right now, it's very nice and quiet. Using insurance, I mean, right now I don't have the $1 million house yet. I want to be clear, but we are living in a 2-story home, 4-bedroom. It's a very, very nice size, and it's paid very comfortably.
Mm-hmm.
So the money getting from life insurance, or make from 30 to 6 figures, is definitely different in lifestyle. You know, we planning vacations. Like, hey, you want to go on vacation? I'm telling her no. Why? Because I don't want nobody to talk to me about COVID if we go overseas. But when you look at from the job spectrum into being an entrepreneur, the conversation would be, hey, babe, can you ask for some time off and see if they approve you? And then so we can go spend some time together.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not just about the money. The money is good, but to me is the freedom. Is
Freedom.
the freedom of planning, making your own schedule, planning
Right.
yourself, do what you want. So it goes beyond the money. To me, it's more about the freedom, man, to tell you the truth. But things definitely change from the lifestyle we were to now, and then now we're working into, man, we have some big stuff in the pipeline working, man. So I'm pretty
Oh
excited.
yeah, absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Me too, bro. And going in, let's go into agency building now. Like, let's get into it, guys. Here's the secret sauce, and how James pretty much did it. So let's get into it. So James, what was your days, or let's look at a month. We at the beginning of the month. What is James? How is James looking at? How are we gonna attack this month right here? We're at the beginning of the month. Let's say March 1st coming up. You know, you let's start at March 1st. Boom. At the beginning of the month, like, what does everything look like from your days to your weeks, and how those things operated from personal production, of course, but team building as well, and also training people. How did that look for you on a monthly run?
So on a monthly run, here's what I look at. Okay, what is the outcome I want from that month? So what's the outcome? My personal, I need to help 3 to 5 people per week, which is very low numbers. But I have other project I'm focusing on, but 3 to 5 a week personally, that's where I'm at. So when I find out what the outcome is, I need to understand, okay, what is my personal goal? Now, okay, how can I help the team? So I'm always available. I'm always available. I used to, let me say what I'm saying. I used to, when people would be on the team, I would call them, hey, you need to do this. Hey, you need to do that. That was early on my leadership leading style. I don't do that anymore. And
Mm-hmm.
what I end up doing right now, I present somebody with an opportunity and I tell you exactly what you need to do. I would probably follow up if you're new, but if you've been here for a while and okay, hey, you know me, whenever you need me, call me. I'll check on you every now and then. Why? Because he helped me to focus on those who really wants it. Like I have this guy, he recently come to the team. He prepared tax. He's a tax preparer. Let me tell you,
Mm-hmm.
this guy called me almost every day. Hey,
Mm-hmm.
James, what do I need to do next? Hey, you think your wife would be available to help me with this? Oh yeah. And then we always help him. I believe last we're in February. In January, I think he had to at least close 5 policies where he make like at least $4,000 to $6,000. And that's just like outside of everything else he's doing. He's in real estate as well. So my activities is based on my personal production, which I just told you my minimum number, and those who need my help for me to be there for them. So from there, when I know my outcome for personal, I'm like, okay, what do I want the team to do? And those who's really interested, like I have a couple right now who just came in not too long ago. They about to get their license. I think in the first week of March, they're going to take the exam. So it's a constant coaching, mentoring, and a daily basis and a weekly basis. And then at the end of the month, you said, okay, did I the outcome I was looking for? Did I get it? No. Okay, what could I have done different? Where did I fell off? Maybe I didn't make enough phone calls. Maybe I should have followed through with this. So, it could be a blessing and a curse at the same time, just because you have your own time. You have to run nobody's gonna come and say, hey, James, this is what needs to get done. No, it's all on me, man. I gotta go ahead and make sure it's done.
Right.
So yeah, it sounds good to say, hey, I'm an entrepreneur. Yeah, the money is great. Yeah, but listen, man, some people, it's like it's better off to have someone to actually help you structure a schedule. And then maybe you better off right now until you get the mindset to be and the level I'm at. I'm not saying I'm on a high level, but I've been doing this for a while. I understand it, but that's how my month would go. What is the outcome? What is my personal, and what is the team goal? And then how fast can we get there?
Nice. And so for that, looking at that week, you were saying about 5, you try to close it what, 4 to 5 or 5 to 6 policy?
Minimum 3 to 5. But
3 to 5
weeks,
policies a week. How many calls are you needing to make?
3 to 5. It actually depends on the weeks, because some week I focus on making calls, and some weeks I just decide to actually kind of like hit back my clients.
See, he got it like that, y'all. He could focus on this and that. See, everything now for James is referral. He's been doing it so long, it's now like referrals. But before, we used to be in the office calling people all day and night.
And somebody told me that once, before I really get into when I was like fresh, somebody told me, once you've been doing this for a couple of years, you stay consistent and people know that's what you do. Right. You're gonna see something magical happen where you're just gonna receive referral. As a matter of fact, today as I'm driving back to my home office, somebody called me. It was a referral.
Yeah. See?
And it is just like that, but that's just to validate what you said.
Yeah. It's so different for you now, because I remember, when we were back in the pre-COVID times, I guess is what you call it. Boy. And we were grinding, y'all. Like, we were getting to it. Like, I'm talking about we in the office from morning to whenever we just go home. But that's just like calling people on a daily. And even as training, having to fit training or going out on the field, like it was to the point where he'll have to go out on the field. Me and James went on the field. I think it was a night, and we're gonna get into this part next. Back when James first came off of his high earning month, and we'll get into that. But we went on the field, and we were running like 2 to 3 appointments a day, y'all. Like, it was crazy. Like, it was like a rush, you know what I'm saying? So it was a rush that I was just like, whoa, I like it, but it was just crazy how fast it went. And James was just so focused, y'all. And I'm gonna let him talk about that focus level, because a lot of people don't know the month before that, I got licensed. This man made like almost $30,000. So I'm gonna let him talk more about that. And how was that, man? And talk about your mindset during that month and how you felt, and what was the cause of that, and everything about it.
Now I'm thinking back, man, to the mindset. My mindset was just purely opportunity. It's an opportunity. It's an opportunity. So you got to get it done. I got to get it done. So it was just that, man. I didn't have any time to rationalize anything. I didn't have no time to think about, oh, this stuff can't work, or I don't have time for this. All I know is, man, I need to sit in front of people, do a presentation, make sure they see value in there, and protect their life, protect their family. That's the only thing I thought about, you know?
Mm,
So my mindset, I mean, I was just so focused.
yeah.
And also, being in a run, meaning there's a goal we have to meet at the end of the month. That was actually one thing as well. So that kept me going. And man, how I felt during that time, it was kind of like, you know, when how should I put this? You know, when you're in your zone, like
Hmm.
when you're on your zone,
Yeah.
that's how I felt. And
It's on this
it's a
Kobe mode.
you there you go. You know, I was in my Kobe mode, bro. It's like I just got to get it done. So we went that month, made close to 30 grand. It was a great month. And you know, we recruit a lot of people, we sell a lot of policies, because it's all about team building, recruiting, sell policies, and build an agency. But yeah, it was a lot of fun, man. It felt
How
really, really,
many?
really good.
How many policies you think that is? Like to make $30,000? How many policies? Of course, some of that James mentioned is override too. So
Override, yeah.
there's you have an agency, you have override, but how many people were you helping that month? You always had to train a lot of people, like, so obviously your daily activities, what did that look like? So this is six figures. This is how six figures look, y'all. Like, it's not easy, it's not a cakewalk. Like, what was your daily activity like though,
Bro.
what
like
time
you
you
said,
started?
like you said earlier, man, early morning, late nights. And it wasn't just consist of selling, it was actually building a team.
Right. And then
So
you had leadership too, so you
exactly,
had to attend to them.
bro.
And
it was it felt good, because you just didn't have time to think and rationalize everything. You just, we had to work. But my daily activities, man, I remember having between 5, 6, 7 appointments sometimes in my day, just running appointments, you know. And I would go to bed, let's just say at like 1, 2 in the morning, and wake up at like 6, 7, and just do it all over again. And it was that rush, man. And the thing about it is, you actually making a difference in people's life, you know. So it's not just about, oh yeah, I'm making money, yeah, oh man, 30 grand a month, oh my god, that was a great. It's not just that, because stories you're going to hear from those time is gonna be very, very bittersweet stories,
Mhm.
because these families, you just end up protected. Eventually they will, hopefully we're thinking they never use that product, that life insurance product, but eventually it's not just about money. You just protect a family from going through a GoFundMe account, opening a GoFundMe account, you know.
Right.
So
Right.
I guess the true passion come, from that spectrum, is not only I was building people, and I get to learn from people and be a better person,
Mhm.
and also the activities just make it such a great feeling to know that I'm truly helping somebody to protect their family and to protect their lives. So I'll leave it just as that, man.
Mm. Yeah, that's deep, man. Because this industry is, there's a lot of good, and then there's a lot of emotions in it, wrapped
Hmm.
inside of it as well. And during, while you've been building your life insurance agencies for these past years, like, have you experienced any, like, death claims, having to, deliver a check to a family of somebody who passed away? Like, that's also a side that a lot of people don't understand when it comes to, okay, yeah, you're building a six-figure agency, but what about this part of that agency,
Mm.
that you built? Like, have you ever been through the process of doing that?
Yes, and it's not a fun process.
Mm.
Only 2 times I had to be a part of two death claim. Um, and you know there have been some, they could have been some more, but I get into that in a little bit. But yeah, I've had a friend of mine uh, who I provided life insurance with. I mean, too. She passed away. She was
Mm.
only 34 years old, and she left 3 kids behind.
Wow.
So we had to actually work on a claim for her. And this is the thing. Like, I want to explain this to people. Um, Life insurance has what's called a contestability period, which is 2 years. What does that 2 years mean? The 2 years is if you get a policy and you die within the first couple years, the life insurance policy company can actually investigate the death to see if you actually something was incorrect in the application.
Mm.
So my first claim,
Yeah.
unfortunately, did not get paid out. Why? Is because during the application, the young lady didn't disclose some information. So because she passed away within that first couple years, what happened is the insurance company returned 100% of all the premium paid
Premiums.
to the beneficiary.
Sheesh.
So it was, I mean,
That's kind of like final expense graded.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Like it's like the same thing. That's crazy though. I didn't know it was like that for regular ones.
yeah. So they went back, come to find out, I mean,
So they investigated it,
they investigate that and
and
saw
she did
that
have something.
she did have something. And even though you went through underwriting, hey, the life insurance companies, they're not perfect. They'll miss something. So that's why they have the 2 year contestability on
Clause, yeah.
clause.
Wow,
But yeah,
that's
eh,
heavy.
that's heavy, man. I you know, just thinking about it kind of like take me in a place I don't like. But that's part of the industry.
Mm.
Um the second one
Sheesh.
was another client. I remember sitting with them, and she wanted to get more life insurance, but affordability is one thing, so they couldn't afford it.
Mm-hmm.
With her, she had the policy for a little bit over 2 years, and that policy was paid out to her beneficiary. So she passed away of cancer. And then, I got on the phone, talked to the company, answer a few questions. We did a three-way, me and the beneficiary, and they was actually able to receive the check. But why I say it could have been more people, it's simply I have a few deaths that either me or members from my team spoke with those people and they did not take life insurance.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I said it could be more. There has been a recent death of a 23-year-old young lady who recently passed away. She got buried like a couple weeks ago, unfortunately. And we actually approached the family and they started the process. They're just like, you know what, kind of like they don't really care about it. But
Drag their feet.
long story short, 23 years old. And when I was scrolling down Facebook and I saw that GoFundMe, I'm like, I just felt so dark inside, because at 23 years old, a policy for $10, $15 is nothing,
Right, right.
you
Absolutely.
know.
And it's that
So
cheap.
it's that cheap, man. So that make a big difference. So that's why I have passion in what I do. When I'm able to help somebody get covered, it's I always tell them, once you receive that email or the withdraw that first initial premium, just say thank you, Jesus, thank God you made it through. Because um people be coming back. There's that one case where that lady came back to us asking for life insurance. That's because she went to see her doctor and they find out she have cancer. It's too late now. You can't do that, you
Mm-hmm.
know so I mean, it is a part of the industry that most people don't like to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, you are in the industry just to receive that call 5, 10, 20, 30 years from now. You hoping you never receive it, but eventually you have a chance of receiving that call, bro. So
Dang.
yeah, man, don't get me cry over here, man.
Oh man. That'll have to be a whole episode right
Yeah.
there. Like a whole,
Hmm.
those paying out those claims, man. That's heavy, man. And that's a
It
heavy
is.
story there. And
It
that's a
is.
part of building that, six-figure agency, a lot of people don't understand, like, it's not just money that comes with this. You're dealing with the lives of people, and
Mm-hmm.
it's a very noble and emotional industry at the same time. You're helping people. Yeah, you can't bring people, you can't bring them back to life, but if you do have a check coming to them, it can help relieve some of the stress that comes with um you know when people die. It's not
Mm-hmm.
free. It costs money out here. It's something that death is expensive,
Yeah, it
as
costs a
people
lot
like
of
to
money to
say.
die.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that's an entire business model, is funeral planning and things like that. So that's something we got to dig deeper into, man, because I think people need to know that side of it, and especially that 2 year contestability period. That's a major gem, and a lot of people don't know about that portion of life insurance. and
Mm-hmm.
and building this agency, as you guys know, we ain't going I don't want to stay too much longer, and I know it's getting a little bit emotional there, but we're gonna bring it back on track to the building a six-figure agency. So I hope you guys learned a lot tonight. Really the insides that people don't generally talk about, how that
Mm-hmm.
transition was, having somebody there by his side, like having that partner. That was a big major gem and a major thing when it came to him
Mm-hmm.
expanding his agency and building. He said when he brought in his wife, that's when everything exploded. And from his days booking 5 to 7 appointments a day, that's daily activities. Imagine sitting with 5 to 7 families a day. Each time you sit with them is about an hour, 45 minutes to an hour. So that's almost 7 hours on the field, then having to come back and train your team, or having to sit in a leadership meeting, and sit in a team meeting here, or run these different types of presentations for people who want to come on the team.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a constant, you know, it's constant work, and six figures is not easy. It's not an easy task, guys. It's not like, oh, I'm gonna make six figures by this amount. No, it's gonna take immense amount of work. Like James said, it wasn't really too much thinking or rationalizing anything. He was just going, 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 going,
Yep.
and following the process. And I want to leave on that note. If somebody's looking to build a agency, a six-figure agency, seven-figure agency, tell them something about being a great follower and leader at the same time. What do they need to do on in the terms of that? Because you had leadership that you were getting leadership from somewhere as well. And how did that play a role in building that six-figure agency, like that leadership side of things, having accountability partners up here who are doing more than you?
Mm-hmm. The foundation is care. I think that's a beautiful question, and I'll just answer it with that: care. I actually care about people. Um, s- I don't know how to put this. If somebody is faking it with me, I can tell.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like most people should have that as well. Somebody is faking it, but at the end of the day, to me, to answer that question, is care. I actually care about people, and I care to learn. I care to be better, and I care to know and understand that I don't know all I need to know. So I already know. I always put in my head, somebody can always teach me something. So I'm always in a position trying to teach myself. I can learn from anybody, even a 5-year-old. So um I'll say a second part to that is knowing how to put your ego aside, because there's a lot of things your people who's leading you would be encourage you to do good things, of course, because you always have to look at morals and principle. But there's a
Mm-hmm.
lot of things that's gonna be good for you to grow, but they're gonna be very, very uncomfortable when it comes to the work ethic. Meaning, who want to run 6, 7 appointments a day and then come back to the office and do training? It's easier to just go home and lay down. So
Mm-hmm.
I've always put myself in position to learn. So I guess it's just really care about the who you want to be and willing to learn. And at the end of the day, say you at this job like I was, you're making 30 grand, you're making 40 grand. There's nothing wrong with that at all. I want people to understand that there is nothing wrong with that at all, as long this is where you want to be.
Right.
That's it. But if you were there, this is not where you want to be, then this is what I mean about putting your ego aside. Let somebody teach you, let somebody lead you. Like, it's, I don't know, man. Like, I was raised Christian, and this is one thing I ask God. I'm a believer of two main thing this year is wisdom and wealth, and wisdom first. So I always seek to understand. Like, if somebody is telling me something, I always seek to understand. I read this from a book, which I forget the title right now, but I always seek to understand. So as I'm getting leadership, somebody is teaching me. I said, hey, this new guy I just brought in, they're looking for what I just learned, so I need to teach him that. So as long you become a resource, the whole everything just flow through you to bring the next person in and help them to be successful, help them to make money. Then, to me, it's just that process I really cared for. So just to go back again to answer the question is to care, to truly care. Care that, you're not happy right now. You should care you're not happy right now. Well, what will make me happy? Is it my surrounding I have to change? Yeah, maybe you have some friends you need to let go of, or you need to stop hanging out with. Maybe that's the first step. That could be a sort of help to clear your mind. And maybe you want to get into an entrepreneurship. Hey, reach out to people like myself. Reach out to other people in your community that's doing that.
Right.
And just care about yourself, man. Care about the process. And I think everybody should be good. Care, man. Just care. That's what I'd say.
That's major. Many people don't think about it that deep, like caring. You said care. I know me, when you said care right away, I was like, when caring about other people, that's the first thing that I would think about. But when you put it in that perspective, care about everything about you and where you're at, care about your surroundings, care about your current situation, care about, if all of your problems, if you care about those things, you would treat it a way where you're going to want to get out of those situations, to want to always get better too. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this episode. You learned a lot from our six-figure earner James Denazir, the goat, Papa Goat is what they call him. You see the goat behind his head as well. You know what I'm saying? The GOAT Empire. James built the agency, guys. It was under like 12 months, really. Like, I think it's around 11 actual months that he got into this and built this agency, this life insurance agency. And then from there on, as you see, he transitioned and he's grown so much. He was new in the industry there. Now is almost to the point where it's just like automatic referrals for him. And hey, I'm not about to beg anybody, because James is trying to elevate from that 6 figures to 7 figures. 100%. So he can't come back, turn back around and walk people's hand who don't want to be helped. So guys, if you were listening to that Jim that he mentioned, care more, care about getting help, put your ego and pride to the side, and go out there and get that accountability partner. If you have somebody who's making more than you, be in touch with that person. Ask them to hold you accountable, because if you want to get from 4 figures to 5 figures, 5 figures to 6 figures, 6 figures to 7 figures, it's a step. It's a step every way. You're not just jumping from $0 to $1 million. You're not going from 0 to 7 figures. Everybody has a mentor. Everybody has somebody who's there, who's holding them accountable. There's no such thing as self-made. Like, all of this stuff didn't just come. No way you can be self-made out here, because you always need some type of guidance from something, you're always, none of these things that we're shown or we listen to are our own thoughts anyways. Like, these are thoughts from other people that are made. So how can you truly be self-made if you're learning from something else or some have an influence anywhere else?
You're
So
right.
you're always you're always learning. There's no self-made millionaires out here. These are, you need that leadership. It's good to have, honestly. And he just said, so care more, guys. We want to thank James for sharing, getting real vulnerable with us tonight and showing you the side of James that you probably never even knew. I
Right.
know a lot of you guys haven't heard of Sniper. If you guys want to go check that out, I don't even know where to find it, but I know it's out there. So it's on YouTube. If you want to go find some fire rapping, you know what I'm saying? Some
Don't
music
go look for
videos
it.
with James.
Don't go look for it.
It's somewhere out here. You probably won't find it, but unless you go on his page, then you probably scroll down years
Why
ago.
you why you gotta say it though? Like,
Man, but nobody's gonna do that, bro. Really?
nobody's gonna do that.
Nah, nobody's gonna go and do all
Watch
of
me
that.
go viral tomorrow on YouTube.
When we go viral, then you'll go viral even more. That video will come back up for
Right?
sure. But you got anything else, man, before we tap out tonight?
You know, one thing before we tap out. You remember you was talking to me about that transition, right? When I start reading, I told you I was reading and I started acting different. This is probably by far the craziest thing I did. I wouldn't say the craziest thing. I was actually in the building over by I think I was over in was it in the I Drive, International Drive, and I went to an office. I forget what I went to do. And people that's walking into the building that look about 50. You know what I did? Excuse me, ma'am. Can I ask you a question? Yeah, sure. It's gonna be very, very random. I apologize for that in advance. Okay, yeah, what is it? When you was a little girl, everything you dreamed that you would have been, are you all that today? Bro, I was asking strangers that question to tell you how my mind was. Because all I know is I do not want to be 50, 60 years old and then to have the type of life that I see 50 and 60-year-old people have that was around my circle.
Right.
And you'd be surprised. I remember this guy actually talked to me for like a good 10 minutes. And his eyes was watery. Why? Because I just asked a simple question. Are you living the life you always wanted to live since you was a little boy? See, the thing is, the world has a very unique way of just captivating us and put us in through some type of thinking, rat race thinking, and we just end up forgetting about our dreams, man. We forget,
they distract you.
They just distract you, man. They put
so much,
bro. So you think about that. You listening to this right now, or you're watching this. Try it. If you're bold enough, if you don't want to talk to strangers, go ask your aunt, your mom, your dad, or I don't know, but ask somebody, and you'll be surprised of the answer you get. So to me, it's all about, hey, I want to have a good life, and I want to leave a legacy. I want my last name to be in buildings. When I pass away, you're gonna see the tallest building in your city say Dennis Year.
Yes, sir.
Dennis Year is the last name. That's what you're gonna see in some buildings.
Exactly.
But anyway, that's the whole goal, man. That's what I had to say to our viewers. I hope you guys had a good time listening to my story. Julian, I want to say thank you for asking me all those questions. The only thing I didn't like is the fact that people find out I was a rapper, but it's okay. But it's all good.
Gotta know you, man.
You gotta know me, man.
We gotta know the people who are on here talking. We gotta know. Everybody gotta know. So there's no surprises. Like, oh, this person is that. Nope, you already know now.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you know who these guys are, and that's how we want to keep it like that. Keep 100%. It real, authentic. And yeah, guys, thank you for for joining us on another episode of the Agent and Broker Podcast. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel at LVNU Financial, And also follow us on Instagram. Follow our podcast as well. Apple, iTunes. It's on Apple Podcasts, Google, and Spotify. Leave a comment, a rate and review, please, and share it with your friends, family. Let them know that we're bringing valuable content, and you know, it helps the brand when you do spread that out and share it, and also leave those rating and reviews. We really appreciate it, and you can continue to help us grow our platform, and we'll have more, you know, things for you guys, especially to our day one supporters. We got some big things coming for everybody, some 100%. Giveaways and a lot of things. So I'm excited. We'll be live again on Thursday, guys. Again, this is we had two a week, man. We did 2 a week last week. That's 4 episodes in 2 weeks. The demand is getting crazy, but it's a financial advisor, financial planner. She's gonna be dropping some major gems, and then after that, we got some even more bigger heavy hitters, some other 6-figure, 7-figure earners that we want to bring on the podcast, guys. So we're excited. And again, thank you for another week, joining us another week. James, you got your last words?
Nope, that's it, man. Thank you for watching. Make sure you share this, because we're really working hard to bring some nice contents for you guys. So make sure you subscribe to our channel and, you know, share this with your friends and family.
All right. Y'all have a good night.
Good night, everybody.
Later.
The agent and the broker put you on the right path. And if it ain't adding up, then do the right math. And when you wanna come up, some might laugh. But them be the types to be the overnight staff. Always be a worker, we tryna be some owners. Sometimes might strike out, sometimes we hitting homers. But one thing's for sure, when the money gets uncovered, hit the agent and the broker. Say thank you to my brothers.